Hello, welcome back. I'm doing some stuff today. I'm gonna start out making some bread so that has time to rise. And we're just gonna go down the list. I've got a whole board's worth like always. So we'll just get started. I'm gonna whip the mixer out and get the yeast going, and then, we'll do some other stuff. 3 tablespoons of sugar. Okay, so this recipe is one that I don't want to say I made up, but I took 2 other recipes that weren't quite what I wanted and I combined them. And so now I've got this recipe. I made it once before and it turned out good, but I think that it needed a little more knead time. So I'm going to make it again and see how it turns out. Yes, baby.
Can I have some crackers?
Sure. No, you should have peanut butter for some protein. So I've got 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 cup of warm water, and then I'm going to do a tablespoon of yeast and let that bloom. And we'll give that like 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, now I have another bread recipe, but I want to space them out because otherwise my oven, I only have the one oven, so it gets backed up because there's too much stuff in there, and then the bread overproofs. So I have been making homemade biscuits for quite a while, and every week my husband and I make a big breakfast. So we have, and I tell this story every time I talk to you, but we have another house. We're working on renovating it. So when we get done on Tuesdays, generally, we make a really big breakfast, which is like probably around 1:30 that we make this and we eat it. So it's more like a late lunch. And then we have leftovers for the kids because Tuesday's the busy night. I'm running kids to their classes and stuff. So then dinner's done and everybody just munches on breakfast food all day long. That's become our Tuesday thing. It'll be like that at least until the season's done for dance classes and things like that. In school, probably when summer comes, it'll be a little different, but maybe not. I make homemade biscuits every week, and every week I have to make self-rising flour. So this is what I've been keeping my self-rising flour in, and it's annoying. So I'm just gonna put it into this container. I'll have to mark it because now I have several different things in containers like these. And I'll just make another batch in here, 4 cups of flour. This is the best self-rising flour recipe I've ever made. Most self-rising flour, you just put baking powder into. This self-rising flour, like if you make your own, I should clarify. I used to buy self-rising flour. I'm switching to just like better options, I guess. And I've switched now to unbleached flour, which I don't actually know how much better it is, but it makes me feel better about my life. So that's what I buy now. When I used up the last of my self-rising flour, I was looking at the package and it said it was bleached and enriched. And I was like, I know how to make this. I'm just being lazy. So I'm not going to buy it anymore. So I've since found this recipe, and self-rising flour that I used to make, I'm pretty sure was just flour and baking powder. And it was okay. It was self-rising flour. This self-rising flour, that's 4. I'm going to do 8. This self-rising flour is the best I've ever used. It's got such a good rise. My biscuits are like, well, let's not exaggerate. They're probably like that tall, which is amazing to me. My ones before, when I was using the store-bought self-rising flour, they were flat. They were like crappy Walmart biscuits that you would buy. And maybe that's crappy to say, but I don't care. But anyways, this stuff I love. One of the main things though is to make sure that your stuff's fresh. So you don't want to use like 10-year-old baking soda, which I say because I've probably done that, because in the past, I didn't go through this stuff very fast. I wasn't a baker, I wasn't a cook, and this stuff would sit around and get old. And it was like, okay, I use baking soda, once a year. So I always had it, but a box would last me forever. And that's bad because the stuff does go bad. And it's not like it'll necessarily make you sick, but it doesn't have the same, what's the words I'm trying to think of? Like it doesn't work as effectively as it would if it was fresh. What I do now is buy smaller containers. You want to make sure you cycle through your stuff quickly and don't keep the same crap sitting around for very long. So I buy the smallest baking soda. It's like 97 cents or whatever, which is still ridiculous. It used to be like 50 cents, 47, 37 cents. It was crazy cheap, but it's cheap. And then the baking powder, I try to get the smallest container. And then salt, doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. I think that's it. Just the baking powder and the baking soda. I buy the smallest container and then I keep it in here and I try to make sure I use up most of it before I put the new one in so that it stays fresh. And it does stay good for pretty long, so it's not like you have to use it in a month or something, but you do want it relatively fresh. Oh no, I just put in way too much baking soda. I think I put in 4. Okay, well that's fine. Here I am talking. I better check, hold on. Okay, I checked the video. I did put in 4 teaspoons of baking soda and I only needed 2. So I'm going to have to compensate for that. Now we're at 4. I don't know if I'll have enough flour now. That's okay. We can fix this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's for a single batch, which apparently now I'm doing a quadruple batch because I messed up. For a single batch, it's 4 cups of flour. I'm just using unbleached all-purpose flour. You don't want like bread flour or whatever. 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. I need 6 more cups of flour, and if this doesn't fit, I'll just get a big bowl to mix it. Not a big deal. 8. Okay, now all my measurements are right. As long as I can get it mixed, we'll be just fine. Never run out of self-rising flour again. And our yeast is very bloomy. These markers are really nice. They're wet erase markers for a whiteboard. I like to use them to mark things like this because if I want to change it, I can, but it doesn't just wipe off readily. Oh, I smudged it. You got to let it dry, but it won't wipe off as easily as a dry erase marker, but it's easier to get off than like a Sharpie. And when you throw it in the dishwasher, it all comes off. Really nice. Alrighty, that's done. We're gonna go back to our bread here. Adding in, so there it's all, I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty bloomy. Three cups of flour. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Okay, that should be everything this just needs to need for a while, and then we'll check our our dough to see if it's too sticky. All right, I'm gonna shut this off for a minute. It does need a little more flour. So I'll probably do just like a 1/4 cup and then watch it. I'm gonna let that go while I make these biscuits. So what these are is it's gonna be 2 cups of self-rising flour, 1/2 stick of butter, and 3/4 cup of milk. You can watch the process. I make these every week. They're not hard. They're a little like a labor of love, but they're delicious and the rise on them is really good. If you've never made homemade biscuits, this is a really simple recipe and I don't know, I would recommend it. It's pretty good. Oh, I have butter. What am I doing? That's 5. Nope, I'll use this. I'll probably end up making 2 batches and I'm going to make these bigger than I normally do because I'm thinking this week for breakfast, I'd like to do like biscuit sandwiches instead of just biscuits on the side. And I think that'll be really good. So let me get my cutter out. I don't know what's a good sandwich size. Maybe this one. I think I usually do this size and I'll do this size to make the sandwiches. And I'll keep this one out in case I want to make the other biscuits for the freezer. These do freeze fairly well, so maybe I will make a batch to freeze. Okay, this dough is a nice stickiness. Let's do our little, nope, should probably let it go longer. She's a rippin'. Oops. Well, this is still ripping, but I'm gonna call it good. It's been kneading for a while. Okay, there it is. It's in a bowl. I'm gonna throw it in the oven so it can proof, and I'll give it like 45 minutes. I've got, I think, I counted like 6 times, and I don't know if I counted right. I think I have 12 of these big ones. Oh, that one's really thick. Dibs. Okay, 12 big ones. As of right now, I have 6 little ones, so I think I'll do another batch and do all little ones. If I could get enough done for the month, that would be nice.
Those are the highlight of breakfast days for me.
Yes. Okay, I am getting very warm. I'm gonna take a little intermission here. Strip some clothes off, get my hands washed. All right, before I clean the rest of this up, I'm gonna make a little more pancake mix so we have it. This is a great recipe. The pancakes are nice and fluffy. Really love it. 6 cups of flour, 1/4 cup of sugar. Let's see, 3 tablespoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt. That's done. So the counter's got to dry. I'm not going to do much on here, but the next thing I have is ham bean soup. I've made this once or twice before. I like it a lot. Didn't grab any diced tomatoes. So what I'm going to do, neither of these cooking methods are for the Instant Pot, but I'm using the Instant Pot. I'm not going to soak the beans. Let's see, saute onion, garlic, sausage. I'm not putting sausage in either. So I'm gonna get it ready over here, and then I'll move it so it's out of the way. Dice up a couple onions. So it says 1 large onion. I've got 2 small onions, 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. I'll probably use like, I don't know, 6 or 12, who cares? Juice of a lemon. I'm all out of lemons, and the bread is just about risen. It's looking really great. So we'll get this going, and then we'll shape the bread. I never got more oil. These onions already smell amazing. It's been like 30 seconds. Just gonna dump these and poke around for rocks. Not gonna rinse them because there's like smaller bits in here, and I don't have that fine of a strainer. There's like lentils and little split peas and stuff. There's chickpeas in here, so whatever. A little extra B12 from dirt will be fine. Yeah, they look fine. Quite a while ago, probably 2 years ago, I dehydrated a bunch of bell peppers. These were so beautiful in this jar. I had a whole jar full, and I would just throw them into things. They still smell amazing, but this is the last of them. So I'm just gonna use them up and then hope that I can do some more this summer. And then I have these that have been in my pantry forever. Looks like some red beans. Not gonna use all of these because I don't want it to be just all red beans, but I will throw a few in there. And then I have a bag of lentils. Oh, it is open, okay. And the same thing, these have been sitting around for a while. Just gonna throw some extras in there. There's already lentils in here, so it's not gonna change the flavor or anything. Then I can start like using these up. Okay, garlic's going in. Let's see, onion, tomatoes, lemon, garlic. I have any lemon? Oh, maybe I have little lemon pucks. Put the seasoning in. It smells good. This one's like a Cajun. Throw all the dry junk in. These are little lemon pucks I made. I can't remember if I ever showed this in a video, but I did it, so there we go. This is pork broth that I made. I forgot to put the vinegar in my water. We have hard water, so the jar looks nasty. But I made it specifically for this. It smells porky. I've got an extra jar of water. So this is basically 8 cups of water. It says you're supposed to have 10, but I'm pressure cooking, so you need less liquid when you pressure cook. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm going to put this on for like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever. Doesn't really matter. And then I'll move this to the back counter. That's done. You're gonna be sick of me washing my counter by the time this video's done. Bread is beeping at me. Okay, look at that. That is beautiful. So beautiful. I should get my pan ready. Got these long loaf pans I like to use for white bread. Just gonna knead this for a bit. I made this the last time and I feel like the crumb was a little underdeveloped. And from what I read on the internet, it wasn't kneaded long enough. It also said it could have been overproofed, which is possible. Usually when I do breads, I do like 2 to 5 of them at a time. And I don't have the oven space, so they do get overproofed. I figured if I just do one and then maybe I'll start another one, then hopefully that'll help. But I also wanted to make sure I put a little more effort into working this dough so that the crumb turns out a little better. I think I made this a time before too and it just fell apart. So last time was definitely better. And I want this time to be even better. Don't take tips from me about kneading because I don't know how to knead bread. Just shove it around. Just play with it like Play-Doh. I don't really know if there's like a trick to it or if it matters. Okay, too sticky to work with. I'm just gonna shape it. Ugh.
Mama,
Yes, darling.
can you feed me?
Sure, what do you want? What'd you grab? Granola bar?
Granola bar.
Cool. Back off, weirdo. I've got my oven preheating for my bread, but the bread's got to rise again. So I'm going to make this and throw it in there while the oven's preheating. Okay, I am out of olive oil, which I just realized a minute ago. I think I'll just throw butter in and that'll be fine. It'll have to be fine. That's all I got. I don't know if I said it already. This is that tomato feta pasta. It's going around the internet for a while. I probably printed the recipe at one point, but I lost it. I lose all my recipes. I don't know if I'm making this exactly right. It'll taste fine. I got to a point where I just kind of throw whatever in it and it's usually fine. This is frozen spinach that I have. Sometimes when my spinach is starting to turn, I throw it in the freezer because I can still use it to cook with. But I put spinach in this once and it was really good, so just do it again. And I'll just use the rest of this garlic in here. I like to buy this garlic that's already peeled because I'm lazy and I don't want to peel garlic, but it goes bad so fast. So what I've been trying to do when I buy it is just freeze it right away, unless I'm going to use it like that day, and then I can just cut it up like this. It's still pretty soft, like it's not a big deal to cut it frozen. I think I need salt and pepper maybe. You know, throw a little oil on top. This is just canola oil, just crap oil. All right, in the oven. Since I'm cutting onions, maybe I'll get my onions and peppers cut for Monday. Let me check my list. Okay, so Monday we're doing fish, rice, and peppers for lunch. And then for dinner, we're doing chicken and broccoli cheese rice, which I want to make today too. Tuesday's breakfast, I made the biscuits, made the pancake mix. Wednesday, bean soup and tacos. I'll have to make some taco meat. Should have grabbed the ground beef out to thaw. Did not do that. Okay, so fish, rice, peppers. And you know, you probably watch me cut up peppers in every video I do. We eat so many peppers. We love peppers. I forgot we also like jalapenos in this. What do we do? 2 per batch? So I need 4.
4 sounds right.
Okay. Okay, so this is all packed up. We will use this tomorrow when we make lunch. And then these, usually I cut them and put them on a pan and freeze them individually, but all my pans are being used to freeze the biscuits. So maybe those are hard enough and I can combine the pans, the trays. But we like to freeze these individually and then just keep them in the freezer, and then week by week we can throw in what we want. The biscuits are hard enough. I could probably bake them now. I'm not going to, but I probably could. So I just tossed them all on one pan. These I try to lay flat so they're not all sticking to each other. Bread's looking great. It does need a little bit longer though. My mic went out. I don't know what you heard me say. I'm making tomato onion salad. I think this is the same recipe I've used in the past. I don't know if I've ever shown it. I lost my recipe, so I don't know if it's the exact same one, but it looked similar. So I made this over the summer when I bought a bunch of Roma tomatoes from the farmer's market, and it was so good. Nobody liked it. Like, if you don't like tomatoes, you're not gonna like this. I love tomatoes, and I ate the whole batch. It was only 6 tomatoes, and I ate it over the course of a couple days, so it was totally doable, but nobody else really liked it. My tomatoes are looking kind of janky, but that's okay. Okay, wash and dice tomatoes, finely chop the parsley and red onion, juice the lemon. I think that bowl's not going to be big enough. This one's deeper at least. It's almost the same size actually, but it's got a cover, so whatever. Okay, 6 large tomatoes. My husband went and got, or he is right now getting olive oil because I realized I can't substitute some of these recipes. So the recipe says to dice them. I don't know if this is considered a dice when these pieces are so big, but this is how I cut them, like into, what was that, like 8ths? These are pretty soft. I like using tomatoes when they're really hard, but I didn't get to this soon enough, I suppose. And they're out of season. It's not my fault, man. I pulled this out. I will stir it and see how it looks. This bread needs to go in. It looks amazing. I hope it tastes good. So I don't remember, like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'll just keep an eye on it. I don't think this is the same recipe I used last time. So this is not the same recipe as I used last time. It tastes more like a caprese. So I'm gonna take these mozzarella pearls and throw them in here and just call this caprese. Oh, fail! Go ahead.
Oh,
Call Phantom over. He's been bugging me the whole time I've been in. Oh, he's already here. Okay, well, it's fine. It's not the greatest. Maybe once all the flavors come together, it'll taste better. I think this needed a little bit longer. The cheese isn't quite melty yet. The bread is done. Look at it. That's beautiful. Do you want to try this? It's pretty cooled off. I'd like to cut into it and know if I'm making another one. Ooh, come here. Looks like real bread.
Nice.
See if you can see it in the camera.
It proves.
And I have to do that thing where everybody squishes it. Did that look sexy? That looks killer. Here. Ugh. I'm gonna make sure I touch it all.
Tastes like bread.
That's all I was shooting for. Is it good enough to be our white bread?
Yeah, if it slices up nice.
Oh, I don't have a good way to store my homemade bread. I don't know if there's like bread containers or something that helps to keep it nice or whatever. I do have bread bags. Suppose I could do that. A lot of people online say to slice it and store it in the freezer. And then you just take it out as needed. Oh, he's getting the jelly. He must have liked that. Yeah.
One bite.
Sure. Tastes like bread. I have water boiling. I'm gonna make pasta to go with the tomato feta pasta. And then that is going to get like meal prepped for the freezer. I'm gonna start a second loaf of bread because it's delicious. And we'll have one for the freezer. All right, I'm going to start some rice to make with the bean soup, which is done. I'll show you that. This turned out pretty good. It did get really thick, and I added some, what did I put in here? White pepper, some knock your socks off seasoning, garlic, salt, I think. Just whatever made it taste good because it tasted really bland before. And then I cooked it for another 15 minutes. It's pretty good. I'm gonna make white rice, and then these will go in the freezer for like meal prep stuff. And actually, I said white rice. I'm making brown rice for this. Not that it makes that big of a difference, but it is what it is. Oh, the broccoli. I'll have to make white rice too. I don't know how many I'm gonna get out of this. I did do an entire box of pasta. I don't know if I'll have enough sauce for all that. Just kind of see where we end up. Maybe I should weigh it. Okay, I'm gonna set these aside to cool somewhere. Brown rice is done. I have to get white rice in the cooker. I don't know how many of these I'll get or how many I even want, I suppose. So we'll start with 4. This looks like sludge now. It's like puke. Yeah. Here's the rice. I love making it in the Instant Pot. It cooks it perfectly. It's a 1-to-1 ratio with rice and liquid, except when I do brown rice, I usually will add just a little bit of extra liquid, like half a cup. So this is a 2/3. I want about a cup in here, so that should be good. Probably made way too much. I could probably do a few more, maybe 2 more. Got, I don't know, a little bit of brown rice left. I'll let this cool. Oh no, I need the pot. So now I'll do a bunch of white rice for dinner tomorrow. These need to cool. I bagged up the biscuits before. I didn't show that because my camera died, but they're bagged. I gotta get this stuff closed up. It's pretty cooled off. These need to cool a little longer. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you made it this far and want to help out my channel more but hate leaving comments, drop a pepper emoji in the comments. It'll still help me out, and then you don't have to think of something to say. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can visit again. And here's another video you can enjoy between now and my next upload. Thanks again. See you next time. Bye.